Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on another exciting time on Chilling with Neye. I'm your host, Neye. So this week we're going to be talking about something different. I had a sit-down time with my friend Travis, who died. He's a musical artist. He plays the guitar, the piano, he has an amazing voice, and we got talking on a private level. He talked a little bit about his music, and then he also talked about something that most people have struggled with. Stay tuned and join me while we listen to Travis and how he was able to overcome pornography.
So I dealt with a lot of rejection issues. That's like my main issue when I was growing up, because I was really short and I had chubby cheeks and a big afro, and like if I liked a girl, it was always oh, any girl would be lucky, or you're so cute, you know, kind of like the little brother, like a dog. And I'm like, nah, cool, thanks, like appreciate it, you know. So I dealt with a lot of rejection, and you know, I didn't grow and my face didn't slim down until like in years of high school. So it was a grind, you know. And I turned to like the temporary pleasure that you get when you watch like pornography and do that stuff. That's what I would turn to. But I also knew from the longest that lust and stuff was one of the 7 deadly sins, and it's like something that can literally entrap you. And I was stuck in that. I got into the routine of watching it and then hating myself because I was like, what did I just do? I know better than to do this. And it was something that like, it changes the way you view people. It changes the way that you think, you know. If that's what you're feeding your brain, like that's what you're receiving, and like it's constantly on the back of your mind, even when you're not trying to be. So it was a struggle. I dealt with that a lot, and it just kept getting worse because I was like, I hate myself. Because I let that sin of lust identify who I was rather than Christ. So that was, I had to learn how to see my true identity as a Christian and being like, you're taking the name of Christ, you're living, you know, you're trying to show love to people, you're trying to be better, you're trying to improve those around you and help them, encourage and all that type of stuff. Because I was doing that, but then I would, you know, go home and I'd be alone and I would be feeling sad and lonely and stuff like that, and I'd just be like, what's wrong with me? And I would just seek the temporary pleasure you get. And I realized through that I didn't crave the lust as much as I craved the intimacy between the people. You know, I love people in general, but like the intimacy of a relationship, of a proper marriage and like the companionship, that's
companionship
something
is what people seek.
I strongly crave companionship. And you know, I saw that in the video, and that's what was actually drawing me in. It wasn't even the porn or like the act. It was just the bonding kind of thing. So it was a demented. It took something beautiful and like twisted it. So it was weird. It was a weird time. It was hard.
So what would you say are, I know you talked about a few of it already, like some consequences, you know?
Yeah.
How did it affect you?
So it changes the way you think, you know, and it literally just would be something that hovers on your mind if you let it be there. It's just something that pokes at you constantly, just stabs you in the side. Like if you have free time, that's like an addiction. If you have any downtime, you're like, oh, I could go watch right now, or
your phone.
Your phone. It's so easily accessible now. Like, you know, your parents dealt with it, but it was like magazines and different things like that. Now it's, you know, your cell phone, iPads, laptops. You know, it's everywhere.
Almost every,
and you can hide it and stuff like that. And that's the thing, is that you think you hide it, and maybe you hide it physically, but it really wears on your brain, and that's something that's really hard to break out of. And that's a big thing, is taking the step to not act on it and to be above what your thoughts are. That's like fighting your flesh, fighting your natural instinct to like do something not okay.
People keep wondering how to quit pornography, how to break out of that addiction. The first thing would be to acknowledge that it does exist. The moment you acknowledge something, then you can now start working towards dealing with it, breaking it, and leaving it. But if you keep living in denial, it's almost impossible to break out of this. So if you find yourself always going to watch porn on your phone, magazines, TV, you want to see things like that a lot, you have to accept that you're actually suffering from pornography addiction. Acknowledge and recognize that what you're doing is wrong. If you keep thinking that, oh, it's okay, it's just a little here, just a little there, then you're not gonna change. But the moment you accept that, yes, what I'm doing is wrong, you give it a name and the name is wrongdoing, then starts your walk towards redemption. You mustn't blame others. It's nobody's fault. The moment you keep blaming people, then you're not going to be set free. You have to acknowledge and take responsibility for what you are doing or what you have done. You have to make yourself accountable. Maybe have like a spiritual authority, like a pastor, someone that you can talk to, not just anybody, someone that you can actually share, someone that you believe that your secret is safe with. So you have someone who always puts you in check when you go back the wrong way. You must also admit that it's not all about your willpower. There's some things that you need inner strength to deal with, not just your physical strength. And who gives you that inner strength? God. In fighting addiction, especially pornography addiction, you need God. You need His help. You need His power and strength to fight it. You must destroy every pornography item in your possession, be it magazines on your phone, delete it. Those sites that you visit, block them. Those are steps to dealing with this. You must learn to flee temptation. It's gonna be there. The billboards, the TVs, the movies that you watch, skip it. Yes, it's possible. Skip that station. It's very possible. Skip that scene. You don't have to watch it, especially for someone who is dealing with pornography, who can easily fall into temptation. So everything that would seem tempting to you, those things that will make you fall back into that habit, try and stay away from them if possible. Give yourself time to walk through the process of recovery. It might not happen within a week or 2 weeks. Give yourself some time. Don't be too harsh on yourself. That doesn't mean you should keep making excuses or procrastinating, but just give yourself some time. Don't be too harsh on yourself. It's very possible that you will fall back, but the ability to stand up again and keep moving is what matters. It's okay to have those moments, those slip moments, but so long as you acknowledge the fact that what you're doing is wrong and you have to get back to the course, then that's okay. Don't forget to rejoice in little victories. Yes, you take one, you go one day without watching it, even though you're so tempted, but you don't watch it. Clap for yourself, pat yourself on the back. It's one day of you being free. 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. Enjoy your small victories. I hope you enjoyed the video with Travis. This is him giving his testimony. Tomorrow it could be you who would also be giving your testimony as to how you're free from one addiction. It could be anything. Most of us struggle with different addictions. It might not be pornography, it could be anything. It could be addiction of shopping, it could be anything. So one day at a time, we all could be rid of our addictions. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me. Have a wonderful, a beautiful day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.